Diddly ho, neighbor. Looks like you got a spaceship in your... Who are you?
Rick and Morty literally killed America's long-reigning favorite TV family.
You killed the entire Simpsons, Morty! They're a beloved family, Morty!
In this 2015 couch gag, which Simpsons co-creator Matt Groening called the most ambitious and lengthy couch gag that we'd done, Rick plans to use the Simpsons' liquefied remains to recreate them.
Okay, I want you to take that vial of Simpsons goo and this picture to this address. They'll make us new Simpsons.
What's so self-aware about this joke is that the Smiths are the Simpsons of our era. They're the new bad role model suburban family, in a show that treats nothing as off-limits to its transgressive, Easter egg-packed comedy. Even though The Simpsons is still turning out quality comedy after all these years, it's gradually lost its edgy feeling and has started to be seen as part of the establishment.
Something that started decades ago and was applauded and inoffensive is now politically incorrect. What can you do?
So here's our take on how Rick and Morty updates the irreverent cartoon sitcom family unit for a new generation. And comparing the shows reveals how much our culture has changed since The Simpsons first aired in 1989. This video is brought to you by Raid Shadow Legends, a role-playing game that's nominated for Google Play's Best of 2019 User's Choice Award, and is one of the top 3 most popular role-playing games in the Google Play Store. In this turn-based game, there are over 400 champions for you to collect and personally customize. You can assemble a team from 16 heroic factions, explore over 1 million champion builds, and discover 13 spectacular locations. Raid adds more than 14 new champions every month, so there are always new strategies and new warriors for you to try out. Raid gives out progression rewards for each mission, so you can get free champions and equipment just by learning to play. Once you complete the missions, you will get one of the best champions in the game, the Arbiter. Check out this cool roadmap Raid has published. They have huge plans for updates to the game over the next 6 months. And the best part is, Raid is totally free to play. Just click the link in the description below to get 50,000 silver and a free epic champion as a part of Raid's new player program. In an era of wholesome, sentimental family sitcoms like Full House, Family Matters, and Growing Pains, The Simpsons began as the subversive, in-your-face, dysfunctional family that Rick and Morty is today. Campaigning in 1992, George H.W. Bush promised
to make American families a lot more like the Waltons and a lot less like the Simpsons.
Referencing the 1971-81 series about a rural Virginia family during the Great Depression.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, Mama.
Good night, Daddy.
Good night, children.
Good night, Daddy.
The Simpsons was quick with their biting reply.
Hey, we're just like the Waltons. We're praying for an end to the Depression, too.
Ultimately, though, what Bush missed is that The Simpsons affirms the importance of family.
Fathering children is the best part of my day. I'd do anything for Bart and Lisa.
In the essay At Home with The Simpsons, Professor Paul Cantor of the University of Virginia argues that the show ends up celebrating the nuclear family as an institution. As Cantor pointed out, The Simpsons even mirrored the average 2.2 kids per household, with baby Maggie, who never grows up, being the 0.2. When the county suspects Homer and Marge of negligence and takes their children, this just serves to underline how deeply the Simpsons do love each other in their own wacky way.
Remember how Mom used to microwave our underwear on cold days? Or the way Dad used to call the radio station with fake traffic tips?
The episode's heartwarming message is that, while Homer and Marge may not be perfect parents,
everything's just too weird here.
No, they put honey on their pancakes instead of maple syrup.
And they read Newsweek instead of nothing.
They make up for it with genuine affection and a home environment where kids can be themselves.
Kids! We're good parents now! Get your asses out here!
We missed you so much!
And viewers could relate. The idealized 1950s family sitcom and aspirational role model TV families that followed in their footsteps never reflected most people's reality. So even if viewers didn't have a son who was quite this much of a troublemaker, or a father who was this much of a screw-up, they could see themselves in these people who were often a mess, but still came together as a family in ways that counted.
I wanted to surprise you for Christmas.
Oh, sweetie, this is the best present a mother could get. I love you so much.
Fast forward to now, and Rick and Morty also foregrounds the American family, warts and all. What's different, though, is that Rick and Morty doesn't necessarily agree that family is automatically a good thing.
It's him or me.
The show paints family connection as potentially dangerous, emphasizing that your nearest and dearest can hold a perverse, toxic power over you.
I wanted you to have a normal life. That's something you can't have when Rick shows up. Everything real turns fake, everything right is wrong.
One of the creators, Dan Harmon, said, "For him, the center of this story is Beth, a middle-aged woman who was scarred by her father abandoning her as a kid.
For the rest of your lives, no matter how much it hurts you, no matter how much it destroys our children's futures, we're gonna do whatever Rick wants, whenever he wants."
Yes!
Why?
Because I don't want him to leave again, you dumb asshole!
According to Harmon, the reason no one objects that mad scientist grandpa takes their young son out of school to drag him on life-threatening adventures is because Jerry is terrified that Beth will leave him, and Beth is terrified that Rick will leave her.
Please don't leave me again.
So what holds this family together is a toxic chain of fear. And this reflects that for many people, family might not be a saving grace, but a burden. The Smiths are also dealing with heavy problems. In The Simpsons, Homer's drinking is written off as borderline normal.
This is tough. Need refreshment. Oh, good old trustworthy beer.
Rick and Morty doesn't mask or minimize issues like alcoholism, depression, marital struggles, and conflict with in-laws. And this makes it relatable to real families facing issues that can't just be shrugged off from week to week.
You have the single worst marriage I've ever witnessed. It shouldn't exist.
The Smiths even grapple with insecurity about whether they're a real family.
We're a real family now.
The joke at the end of the couch gag is that Rick's quick fix actually turned the Simpsons into horribly misshapen mutants.
Hey Morty, little tip. Don't clean DNA vials with your spit.
Likewise, in Rick and Morty, these family members feel like they're misshapen on the inside.
Your relationship with your father is
Oh,
psychotic.
listen to you relish the idea that my genius father is a bad person.
This focus on the individual within the family leads to a show that's a lot more interested in character development. Rick and Morty is always balancing a Simpsons-esque reset button feel with characters who do change. The new Homer Simpson is Jerry Smith. This rather incompetent, dim-witted patriarch is an average Joe who's happy in his haze of obliviousness. But while Homer is largely let off the hook for his moronic ineptitude, on Rick and Morty, the culture has turned against Jerry.
Look, I'm a closeted racist, and I'm sexist, and selfish, and I dragged us all into my sexist, racist, bad things because I'm stupid.
Thank you.
Now you're gonna help me, right?
She just did.
Homer's catchphrase is framed as lovable. Jerry's mediocrity is treated as a problem that evokes contempt.
Why am I so mediocre?
Most tellingly, Homer is the clear head of his household and, if you had to pick one, the main character of the show. But Jerry is mostly losing control of his family to his father-in-law, and he's not the protagonist of Rick and Morty. While our culture has turned against the man-child, the update to Bart and Morty suggests today there's a new faith in the young man's hidden potential. Devilish little Bart is a lovably wicked manifestation of the saying, "Boys will be boys."
Eat my shorts.
Morty is a hapless, hormonal kid who, to his own surprise, proves very competent and emotionally mature over time.
I'll disarm the drunkenly improvised neutrino bomb. There's a 40% chance it's a dud, but you should still stay back. Morty, how many of these? Too many, Rick! Too many!
So, rather than painting mischievous impulses as natural and inevitable, it's showing boys as raw matter to be shaped by their role models, implying that we can make better men for the future. The grandpa in The Simpsons is woefully marginalized and ignored by the family.
Hey, my dad was lousy and I didn't sue him. I just dumped him in the cheapest home I could find.
The character serves as a commentary on how frequently elders aren't respected in our culture, as well as on how dealing with an aging family member can be extremely trying. In Rick and Morty, however, the elder Rick is front and center, more head of household than Jerry most of the time.
How is my son supposed to pass his classes if you keep dragging him off for high-concept sci-fi rigmarole?
And we can see some parallels between Rick and Homer. Both are drinking, belching patriarchs who expect others to make excuses for them and clean up after them. But in The Simpsons couch gag, Rick appears to be disgusted by the taste of one of Homer's trademark donuts, and he has to spike Homer's beer with his own alcohol. This gets at the fundamental difference between them. Rick is a lot less mainstream and a lot more extreme. Homer puts the kids in danger due to incompetence, but Rick puts Summer and Morty in danger intentionally. This smart but reckless patriarch may reflect new skepticism toward older generations.
Okay, Boomer.
It's becoming clear to young people that authority figures don't necessarily have their best interests or well-being at heart.
9 out of 10 times it's a ship full of dead aliens and a bunch of free shit!
Whoa!
1 out of 10 times it's a deadly trap, but I'm ready to roll those dice!
Yet Rick also challenges his family and pushes them to grow more than couch potato Homer.
Think for yourselves, don't be sheep.
Reflecting how, in our times, the head of the family is responsible for stimulating everyone's thought and broadening their horizons, not just being a provider. Mother and housewife Marge is known for her trademark sound that's a perfect nonverbal expression of frustration. She's constantly confronted with her husband's inadequacy.
Attention, Marge Simpson. We've also arrested your older, balder, fatter son.
And The Simpsons sometimes deals with her battles to feel appreciated and respected by the family she single-handedly takes care of. But ultimately, Marge finds ways to be satisfied within this traditional family structure.
I must admit, you really do make a gal feel needed.
In Rick and Morty, Beth is the primary breadwinner. Her intellectual superiority over her frequently emasculated husband is out in the open.
I'm smart. Why do you think I'm a heart surgeon?
Heart surgeon.
And she holds the power because Jerry is so scared of losing her. Marge gets fed up with Homer many times.
Homer, I think you'd agree that I've put up with a lot in this marriage.
But she genuinely loves him.
Do you know why I married you?
Because I knocked you up?
No, because I love you.
Meanwhile, Beth doesn't start out loving her husband.
This isn't the woman you married, Jerry. Because this woman loves you.
And staying with her family means stifling much of the potential her current life doesn't allow her to realize. Lisa Simpson's modern counterpart is Summer. Lisa is her show's moral center and a classic overachiever.
Free Tibet!
While Summer comes across as a pretty average teenage girl whose main interests are boys and popularity.
This is my chance to gain some footing with the cool kids.
This update to the sister character mirrors the evolving discussion of how to represent women on screen, as the ideal shifts from strong, perfect female characters to flawed female characters. Underneath her less than impressive demeanor, Summer gradually reveals deep hidden potential and intelligence. She is the Smith child who resembles her genius grandfather more.
Thanks, kids. You figured it out. Well, Summer did.
So her aptitude reminds us that a girly girl who doesn't talk like a perfect student can still be wicked smart. Interestingly, we see Rick admiring himself after putting on Marge's necklace and then enjoying playing Lisa's saxophone. So he feels some sense of connection to the women in this family, just as Harmon has said he loves Beth more than any other character on the show. And the centrality given to this intelligent, not particularly nurturing middle-aged woman's psychology underlines that we're in a different time for female characters on screen than The Simpsons was. Rick and Morty didn't kill The Simpsons because it was destroying the traditional American family. As we've seen, The Simpsons never really was that. It killed The Simpsons the way that Oedipus kills his father, the way that the next generation has to destroy the beloved predecessor and take its throne. It's killing its old role model with love. That's why the couch gag leaves us with an image of The Simpsons redrawn to look more like Rick. The Simpsons seems to welcome its successor. They even gave us a visual nod to Rick's beloved Szechuan sauce.
I want my McNugget dipping sauce Szechuan sauce, Morty!
Even if Rick and Morty isn't a blanket endorsement of family, there's a love-centric moral in this story too. Rick has the freedom to stay with this version of his family, or run off to be with any number of other versions. So this version of the family relationship is formed by choice.
Are you going to stay? There's infinite timelines, Morty. Why would I stay in the one where I trashed the White House, became an enemy of America, and the lowest status character in my idiot family?
Beth, likewise, chooses to double down on her family after she's presented with the option to leave and fulfill all her desires.
I don't know if I can do it.
Then stay and luxuriate in a life you can finally know you've chosen.
In our world, where tradition is less of a mandate and the family unit can look work all kinds of ways. It's liberating to remember that love means deciding we want to be there.
Look, there's no replacing either of you without an amount of work that would ultimately defeat the purpose.
The Simpsons is the longest-running American sitcom and primetime scripted series. And with its 70-episode renewal after season 3, Rick and Morty looks ready to be the next staple reflecting modern family life for a long time to come.
They're a national treasure and you killed them.